Fences policy. The activities. No questions? All good?
Just in regards to that drought policy,
Yes.
I don't know whether there is a conflict between what we're saying now and the drought policy and how we normally operate as a council order. So I was just wondering if we can bring that policy back to the next governance and standing committee to have a look at. It's just that I think the way I'm reading things that went out yesterday, or the way in which the policy talks about that you can go back to smaller hours, shorter hours for sprinkling and water and irrigation systems, etc., on alternate days, which means that in every fortnight you'll get 7 goes. Under our present system, you only get we have a day off day. We have 1 day off on Monday, and so we take 1 day out, and so we only have a number of days that are available for people on alternate days. So just the way it's written would be almost as if that I can have today, tomorrow, off today. The next thing over 14 days I'll have 7 cracks at sprinkling. As I am now, I only have in 14 days, I only have 6 days at sprinkling. I'm actually we're giving people an extra 1 day.
Yeah, no, I see your point.
And it's just the way it might have flowed from a policy document to an operational document. So you need to review that probably at that next standing committee in its terminology and then to harmonise, so we haven't got people taking the literal, I suppose, word of alternate days. Monday's still a bloody no, but it should be a 14 days.
It is in every other area. We've been on. We've been on those roads forever.
Should the chair, councillors, also have to check back whether it is a finding of our comms message possibly and not the policy. It's either way.
Whichever.
There is another, the way I read it at a comms today, just that if we can sprinkle on alternate days, and I think we've got to protect that Monday for the maintenance and rebuild, the water supply arrangements. So really you only have 6 days a month, 6 days, which we need to specify that. Odds at this stage, even to that day of
Noted, well noted. Right, councillor, nothing else on those meeting actions? All right, that rolling report register there, if there's something there that needed to go into there, we'll obviously, then you can add to that register.
Just through the chair, I'm not sure if this is the right committee to bring this up in with the agenda items, but at the end of last year, Councillor Brimblekone raised the question of the standing committees, and we were going to have a report come back to council as to whether we abolish them or whether we modify them or what we do with them. And I just haven't seen that on any of the agenda items in any of the meetings. So I'm just wondering.
Certainly not on the standing committee ones, no, I haven't seen it either.
Yeah, so whether it's this meeting it comes to first or not.
I've raised it both here and
At the general meeting. I think it's at the general meeting.
and my proposal was that instead of having five committee members, that be raised up to 8, including yourself. So.
And I think I then requested a report to come back to council with a couple of options.
Well, councillor, sorry, can we leave that to the general meeting?
Okay, I just thought it might have been this meeting.
And then we'll find out which one we need to get back.
Right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, any other councillors? Moving on. Mr. Acting General Manager, you've received a petition, the short time ago. I certainly have. All right, thank you. Okay, material personal interests. Conflict of interest or personal gifts and benefits. Is it clear anyone? No one's got anything to declare? Very good. All right. The councillors, we haven't actually got a million reports to go through today. The first one there appears as item 10.1, which is report on workshop stores and depot strategy. Margaret Gabb will come down and I guess speak to that. But Rod, did you want to introduce this, or did you want to speak? No, I'll speak to start. All right. Thanks, Mr. Chair. Yep, thank you. Thanks, Margaret.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Hello, councillors, and happy New Year to you. I bring this report to you today to just provide you a brief update and some preliminary findings on the workshops, development of the workshop strategy that has also expanded into reviewing our stores operation and also our depot function proper. As Council knows, our road and drainage construction and maintenance services across a significant number of coordinated locations is primarily delivered through our 5 major depots and their associated infrastructure and services. So these primary depot locations are at our towns of Blackwater, Capella, Doringa, Emerald and Springsure. So following the amalgamation of council in 2008, many of the facilities pre-existed at this time, while some of the services such as water and sewerage and parks have now adopted a more functionally based structure, many delivery processes were formed in the current configuration at the time of amalgamation based on prior practices. So progress to date, the project's been broken down into 3 components. Engagement with stakeholders has been a critical one, and we've conducted many workshops and meetings and site visits across all of those depots mentioned with all key workshop staff, store staff and depots operations staff. As mentioned in the beginning, the scope has been expanded to achieve economy of scale to include the depots and the stores. We've also, as a logical consequence to that, reviewed our permanent camps which support the service delivery as well. Site visits on the workshop facilities permitted information relating to major depots to be gathered and details of depot layout and facilities to be recorded whilst on site. A range of exercises has been completed, including field inspection, as I've mentioned, of minor depots and camps, analysis of travel time between current depots and permanent camps, analysis of current positions including vacancy space at each depot facility and residential postcodes, matrix of services supported by each depot facility and geographic maintenance areas supported by each depot and camp, to name a few. We've also reviewed council's owned land and zoning in Emerald, and we've commenced analysis of financial data, identifying operational and maintenance costs per facility. Some of the considerations for this have been that the key to ongoing efficient delivery of services spread across our large region, as well as efficient operation of council's extensive plant and vehicle assets, is critical. Key to the assessment of workshop stalls and depot services is the financial impost due to the travel time across the region. So councils have historically utilised camps to minimise those travel times, and the current cost related to each facility and related service delivered are being contrast to the travel cost mitigated. Early analysis confirms the importance of this distributed delivery model to support functions and services, and we've also identified capital implications for maintaining council's current facilities. When complete, this analysis will assist in prioritising options available to council. We're also reviewing our certified agreement to look at options to ensure that the workshop stores and depot functions support service delivery to the ratepayers across the region. So current analysis has identified high levels of vacancies in specific roles despite significant efforts to recruit. Specifically around workshop services, as I just mentioned, the ability to recruit suitably experienced and qualified staff for this function is a primary consideration assessing practical options. The strategy will include the development of a minimum of 3 scenarios for the delivery of workshop services. The obvious continuation of the existing model and the cost benefit of that, not just to our council staff, but also to the communities in which they live and work. Alternate models, including different levels of externally sourced services and field delivery of services by council officers, and the outsourcing of these services. In preparing these models, full consideration is given to the impact of any changes in service delivery in the field operation of plant and vehicle services maintained. As I've mentioned, a particular consideration is travel time between service centres and downtime, particularly of key plant items, and the cost to council of the marginal cost of loss of production between those options. For stores, I don't have a lot of preliminary findings as yet. That's yet to be finalised, but the analysis is currently underway. And the same is for the depot operations, including camps. On page 15 of the report, I have a range of preliminary findings there, and rather than speak to them all verbatim, I'll just make a couple of notes. Interesting, our desktop analysis has found that for the Blackwater workshop, focusing on minor items accounting for approximately 10% of council's fleet, and provides mobile-based services. And the facility at Blackwater is fit for purpose with minor capital requirements required to continue providing that service. The Doringa and Capella both support operations of approximately 15% of plant and vehicles, while Springshaw support a further 20% of our fleet. All facilities have identified capital requirements in the short and medium term, though Springshaw is identified as a particularly well-equipped and maintained facility. Limitation of the Emerald Depot, particularly in size and access, limit the ultimate capability of this workshops facility. And this was identified pre-amalgamation by the identification of some alternate sites for the development of a super depot workshop and pound facility, which council is aware of. A varying amount of outsourcing occurs in each centre, dependent on current resourcing and workload opportunities to outsource locally. The Emerald Workshop is best supported by commercial outsourcing services to support specialist and peak servicing requirements. In relation to stores, the workshop service in each location is heavily dependent on the store for each procurement and availability of regularly used stores items such as service kits. The store function is vital in most locations where items are not available commercially in the centre for our more remote areas. And whilst current store systems allow stores personnel to search for items and share between the stores, significant improvements in efficiency is anticipated in stores operations with the implementation of our new Technology One platform later on this year. Depot facilities, including camps, field inspection of the depots identified active operation in all centres and a range of capital requirements. Generally, depot facilities are considered fit for purpose with an identified range of asset condition and functionality. Consideration of the findings of previous studies, as well as alternate potential future depot sites, is under consideration. And of key importance to the development of options available to address current depot shortcomings are access, availability of services, appropriate zoning and flood impacts. Council-owned land is also being considered, along with privately held property, for the identification of alternate depot locations in Emerald. Capital considerations will be addressed when documenting available options for the strategy. Lastly, camps provide a cost-effective method for reducing travel time in service delivery across the region. Routinely, 11 permanent camps are used, particularly in providing critical road maintenance services, and utilisation of these facilities range from a period of several weeks per year to almost permanent operation. While a number of the camps are in fit-for-purpose condition and require only minor capital to maintain operations, several require significant expenditure. The council will then need to weigh up what the cost benefit of that will be. A number of facilities are aged with poor functionality as well, and capital costs are under preparation and alternatives to replacement of like facilities are being prepared. So in short, councillors, the strategy is well underway. I anticipate that I'll have a report to our executive leadership team by the end of February, with then a workshop with full council on a little bit more detail on our findings and the options moving forward. And happy to take any questions.
Right. Councillor, so there's not really that. This is obviously an update, but certainly there'd be, I guess, some scoping things that you'd like to know of just what we're trying to achieve, I guess, in terms of what that strategy will look like to be able to make an assessment. So, Councillor Nichols, you had a question?
Yeah, just based on the camps, I was just going to ask how many mobile camp facilities we have now?
I think there are 3 or 4. Jason, do you want to make a
comment?
Sorry, Councillor Nichols, I haven't got the numbers specifically. Mobile.
Yeah, through the chair, we have the big unit, which was previously on local Ralston and Katy Valley.
Yep.
The ex-gas camp, and we have caravans which supplement our existing camps, so they can go as a unit, one unit. There's 6 caravans, so they can all go together to one location, or we split in multiple locations.
So, yeah, you can break it up and down.
Yes. Yeah.
So your major toilet block and that is where, is it being used at the moment? Or?
There's no toilet block with it, so they all rely on the existing.
So it's available at the campsite?
Yeah, so each room is ensuited.
Yep.
So there's ensuites in the room. So each caravan has 2 bedrooms and 2 ensuites in it. So
So those en-suites are
They get plumbed into the existing
funded,
camps,
yeah.
when they set up that camp. There's a separate kitchen unit, caravan kitchen unit, which goes, with their, bulk unit.
Yeah, right, thank you.
So that's all been taken into consideration in the report.
So when you actually, I guess in this assessment, I mean, in terms of the assessment of the effectiveness of camps, we're talking travel time, and then we're also talking about the difficulty attracting some employees or attracting, staff to go to these things. We're weighing up, the cost and the benefit of not having them.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, yes, that's considered in the strategy completely.
And have we actually let that, the southwest, that tend to be let or considered?
If it's not today, it will be whatever. The tender's finished and be completed. I have a feeling it went out yesterday, but if not, yeah, it will be on the end of the week.
Oh, sorry, I don't want to distract you. Sorry, councillors, other questions? Yeah.
No, interesting to see that.
Yeah. So obviously, there's the proposal would consist of those three options, and I respectfully suggest it can be quite an interesting comparative set of figures when you eventually get back to that.
Yes, absolutely.
Allowing for potentially changing sites, costs of, and the capital required. So,
And our focus, Mr. Mayor, has been through an efficient and effective service provision, not necessarily the physical location of where we deliver those services from. We're trying to ensure that that's the ultimate outcome for the council and the community. And whilst we have in there the standard option of outsourcing, that's heavily predicated on obviously not only the impacts on our staff, but obviously our staff that work and live in those communities, and therefore that so regardless of cost of continuing with the current model, we will obviously weigh up those community service obligations and the importance of maintaining a presence in our communities.
Well, that would be my next question. I mean, is there any consideration against the weightage of the value of those facilities as they currently exist in our all our communities?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. So it's not just a financial exercise.
So
no, definitely not.
Any other questions, councillor?
That's a big piece of work.
It is a big piece of work.
Yeah.
So maybe just I guess who is actually working on it? Is it we've got a heap of people working?
Yes, I have the company GenEng Solutions, so Jed Brennan. He's operated or based out of Toowoomba, that has done exactly this type of work in our counterparts at Western Downs and many other councils as well. So the Toowoomba amalgamation, the 13 councils into one, is heavily involved in the development of that strategy. Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing it, Margaret, yeah. All right, well, councillors, there's a recommendation here that we receive that workshop stores and depot strategy update report. Someone like to read that? Moved by Councillor Brindlecombe, seconded by Councillor Sypher. All in favour? Against? Thank you very much, Margaret. Thank you, Gerard. And thank you, Jason, for providing a little bit of commentary on the side. Thank you. All right, normally this comes under the office of the Chief Executive Officer, Sandy Schofield is here. Oh, Sandy's not.
Mr. Chair, GM.
Oh, heavily disguised as Daniel Fletcher. Yep.
And
Hello, Emma. So my apologies, I glanced up and seeing you got 25 years younger, but no, and I'll certainly let Daniel do the introduction, so my apologies.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you, councillors, as my sponsor, the ELT sponsor on the safety and wellness initiative, I want to represent this report as well with Emma. So it is the bi-monthly report which covers off on the statistics of safety, and then there's a small part at the end of the report, obviously, which updates us on some of the wellness initiatives. But importantly, you'll note the total number of 57 incidents that have been reported for the financial year to date. So while statistically the numbers are higher than we would like, there is some important points that I want to draw your attention to, and that is in particular that the reporting only and near misses have been are a large part of that reporting figure. So that's in large part due to a lot of the education and awareness that's been happening, not only through the workplace health and safety team, but as a consequence of the Switch On Safety program that has been rolled out across the organisation. So we're somewhat glad that we have now embedded that educational thinking into the organisation, and as a consequence, our statistics are reflecting that. So it's not all doom and gloom from that perspective. And as well, from another statistical perspective, our lost time injury analysis is still above the LGW average. But we are still working to get those down, and we have a number of anomalies which have those statistics a lot higher, which 2 up to 3 staff members on extended excessive time away from work. So you will note as well the 3 notifiable incidents which Emmy will be able to give you an update on, which have occurred between November and December last year. But in terms of the high level, that's my role done, and I'll let Emma detail all the important parts for you.
Thanks, Daniel. Good afternoon, everyone. So over the period of November to December, we had 23 incidents in total. So that was 3 first aid injuries, 7 recordable injuries, 2 near-miss incidents, 3 report onlys, and 5 contractor incidents. So out of those 23 incidents, 3 of those were notifiable to the regulator. So unfortunately, we had a worker suffer a fatal cardiac arrest while travelling to his home from work. Additionally, we have had a worker receive bites to the hand from a feral cat. As a result, she required treatment at the hospital as an inpatient. And we had a semi-trailer rollover, which under the legislation is a dangerous incident involving the overturning of equipment. So to note there, we have had 3 notifiable incidents for the whole year to date. Comparing that to last year's figure, we had a total of 10, so it looks like we're trending downwards there. Incident trends did spike during the reporting period, so we had 10 occupational injuries or illnesses recorded. 7 of those were musculoskeletal injuries from slip, trips and falls, and 3 were workers receiving lacerations or penetration wounds. While those injury numbers have increased somewhat, the numbers still remain lower than the incidents recorded for the same reporting period of 2017. We currently have a performance indicator set to reduce those injuries and illnesses by 10% from the previous financial year, and our target is 47 or less. To date, we have recorded much lower records than in the previous years, so figure 2 shows this. We only have 18 injuries recorded for the year so far. With our lost time injury analysis, currently our incident rate, which is the number of lost time injuries and illnesses for every 100 workers employed, is sitting at 0.25, which is lower than the insurer group average of 0.92. Our lost time injury frequency rate, which is the total of lost time injury claims divided by our hours worked times 1 million, is currently sitting at 18.52, which is compared to 9.79 for our insurer group average. And our lost time duration rate, which is our average days lost per lost time injury, is currently sitting at 22.75 compared to our insurer group average of 17.92. Like Daniel said, we do have a few ongoing long-term cases there which are affecting that average, but we are actively working on closing those out. For our safety report, in November, there was the regulator's Asbestos Awareness Week, so our team distributed materials out to toolbox talks and key topics for discussion with the work groups. Each week, the Coordinator of Safety, which is myself, publishes a safety share on Vine to communicate our important safety information to our workers. It includes a roundup of our incidents, any industry safety alerts, and safety spotlights for discussion at Toolbox Talks. So some of the topics we covered off on for November and December included working in the heat, reporting of hazards, asbestos safety, preventing fatigue, and then safety coming into the silly season. Moving on to our enforceable undertaking monitoring report, we've committed to delivering 49 deliverables for the enforceable undertaking over the 3-year period. To date, we have delivered 24 deliverables completed within budget and on time, and we are tracking to complete the remaining 25 there well on time. Moving on to contractor management. So a contractor management system audit was conducted here from the 20th to the 22nd of November by a representative from Safety Australia. That forms part of one of our actions under the enforceable undertaking. Coming from that audit, we received a report that provided some further recommendations for us to improve our contractor management system and an audit tool that we'll be using for internal audit purposes. Our acting contractor coordinator has also developed an action plan there to address all of the recommendations from the auditor. Last of all, our wellness report. So each month our health advisor prepares information to be sent out to Toolbox Talks to discuss with our work groups. Some of our focus areas for November and December included heart health, the 3 R's of habit change, tips for eating out and maintaining good health over the festive season. And those wellness fact sheets are available on the Vine and on our notice boards. So handing over to Daniel.
Just through you, Mr. Chair, just to add one further addition to this report around the training that was rolled out last year. The organisation has purchased a suite of Toolbox Talks from Actrua, the contractor that ran those safety sessions, so they'll be rolled out as of next month across the entire workforce.
And thank you very much, Emma, for those reports. Councillors, over to you on those figures and statistics. Councillor Nixon, yeah.
Just one thing, we had a meeting at the hospital in Springshaw last night, and the ambulance officer had a little tiny defibrillator there, only $3,000. And I just wonder, have we got defibs? And it just directs you all the way through it. You can't hurt anyone with it. And look, they're just little things. Have we got any of those in our camps or in our workplaces or?
Yeah, so through the chair, we currently have 8 defibrillators throughout the region, which are mostly based in our offices. But in December last year, we undertook a risk assessment with an external contractor on our first aid requirements, which does include a review of our defibrillator requirements. So that is something we're currently working on reviewing.
Yeah, because it was mentioned that they're in council offices, but those offices are closed, or whatever. So yeah, it's just, you know, outside, and you know, we were talking about the elderly and workplaces where it would happen. So I just thought I'd bring it up because like they're getting cheaper by the minute, and these are the ones that are only $3,000. I mean, you know, what's a life worth? So I just thought I'd bring it up today and you know, part of this safety discussion. Because it's something that could save a life, and we've had a fatality there last year. Whether that would have been any good or not, you know, I don't know, but yeah, it's just something that we should be keeping in mind.
We're considering it not only for our camps but also potentially for our remote construction work as well, depending on the location and the availability of emergency services there. So it is something we're actively working on at the moment.
Just take 5 participation, do you know what the figures for those are?
I don't off the top of my head, sorry, but it is something that I can look into. We have rolled it out to about 95% of our operational workforce with plans to catch up with training for the people who haven't done that yet, and that will happen very shortly, and then from there we can look at the participation of that.
This is just another question. Is there any programs you're looking at rolling out now to, I suppose, to heighten just the safety awareness that seems to have slipped since the holidays, you know, the break, Christmas, whatever happened? Because those numbers are widening, and probably need to do some reactivation of safety. I understand the one with probably going home is difficult and a little bit outside of that spectrum, but the rest of them, the truck rollout or others, and you know, directly related to staff performance and whatever happened. So, yeah, is there any plans to accelerate any toolbox, safety, etc.
Yeah, part of that will be, like Daniel said, the switch on safety, it will be the refocus there. And we'll also be looking at what we can do ahead in the year to try and stop that spike in incidents around Christmas time again. Unfortunately, it is something that happens in most industries, but I think there's probably some things we can do there to better prevent that this year.
Through you, Mr. Chair, in addition to that, so the importance of the purchasing of the Toolbox Talk suite from Switch On Safety is it's a reinforcing program from what all the staff learnt in their whole day or 2-day training last year. I'll also be working with the Workplace Health and Safety team and ELT to see if we can't ensure that there's a refresher of that day training every year that can incorporate all of the new staff that come to the organisation and then staff who require a refresher on the safety training. So.
Lifting seemed to be something that they need to be aware of it.
And again, I'm talking about all our future plans this year, but we do have a manual handling program being rolled out this year as well to address the lifting injuries that we have had.
Thank you.
No further questions, councillor? All right, councillor, that gets us to general business if you have some. I guess we go to the second stuff. Sorry. Oh, sorry, I haven't actually rounded it up and noted that report. Thank you very much for showing your concern. Thank you, Trish. Councillors, there is a recommendation that we receive that workplace health and safety bi-monthly report. And it's so moved by Councillor Nixon, seconded by Councillor Brimblecombe. All in favour? Against?
No.
Right. Now I'll get to general business. Thank you very much, Emma. Thank you, Daniel. All right, we have that section. So, councillors, sorry, councillor.
In October, or maybe it was even August last year, we brought up that I wanted to have a little look at the costs of external consultants and whatever. There's a report brought to us by Jason in October, I think it was, in the October meeting, which came to closed session. But during that closed session, we did have a conversation that a couple of us might catch up with Jason and just refine it and have a look at maybe a way in which it can be reported to us more consistently, 6 monthly or 3 monthly basis, but you need to have some sort of a format and what that might look like. And he would break that up. I know that didn't happen, but I was just wondering if there's a chance that we could, or that maybe we need to sit down with some people at the moment and just maybe some of the finance team or others, I'm not sure as well, purchasing or whatever, just to have a look at. The report was quite good and it was quite extensive, but it's just that it's too big and it's too extensive to be asking for every 6 or 12 months to grow its capacity. We might be able to round that back into something that might come on a 3-monthly basis. I think tomorrow the figures were around 45 million or something we spent on contractors and other people. It's about keeping an eye on what that might look like, as opposed to then about whether or not we should be looking at doing things in-house or whatever's the best thing to be doing. So, and then make sure not casualising and doing other things. So, anyway, it's I know we never followed up with it, but good. I think it was an opportunity early in the year for us to do that. Now, maybe we could.
I'll go back to Jason's report to begin with.
I'm pretty sure your report coming about October was.
And obviously, you have consultants for a particular purpose, but that contractors, use of contractors for casualisation of positions is an EB. It's a very sensitive enterprise agreement type issue that we're very much aware of. So, but I'll get that report.
Yeah.
And see what we can do. And so you're looking more at, is there a possibility of a quarterly type report to council saying this is where we're spending the money?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and what areas and what it looks like.
Yeah.
Because I think there is a real need for us to have some competition and competitive pricing look at in some areas that we do things. So we need to have contractors, we need to have a look at what that costs and what it doesn't cost, and understand what it costs us to do it. And so there's the ability for some of the government and leadership group to have a look at what are those, where are the cost savings and the efficiencies where they aren't, and where you go from there. So, but if I remember right, it was a big number. It was around 45 million. I think we expanded in 17, 18, and the contract for this. But that was an extensive type piece of work I thought to be done. But there might be a way where they could, out of our new computers type system, our technology one now, being able to pull maintenance and road works or, and other things, and have a look at what we contract out and what the price per kilometre, well, I don't know. But it probably just needs to sort of sit down and see if there's something small and sensible to.
We'll have a look at it and bring back some options, maybe that council can choose.
I think that highlights one of the reasons why the 12 of us need to be at each standing committee, because we discussed a portion of that this morning, and we do discuss things that then the rest of the council haven't heard. I think that highlights it, doesn't it?
Right, well, now I think Jason and myself and a few of them are going to sit around the table and be at some stage. Maybe we could do it after a council meeting or something.
Later.
Just reply from them.
Thanks, Councillor Bell. Any other bit of business? There being no further business, Trish, I don't believe there is. I will declare the meeting closed at 12:41 p.m.